Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about some Fanstoys reveals. Now, there's not really any surprise to any of these reveals. They're quite logical based on what they've been putting out lately, but it's still exciting to talk about them. Although some of these reveals, some of these pictures, they create more questions than they actually answer. So we're going to talk about all this coming up. So first off, we're going to talk about the FT56 Variator. So this is their take on a G1S gears, and I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty solid, and it's exactly what you'd expect from Fanstoys. Now, this is, of course, grayscale prototype pictures. I don't even think they're renders. I think they're actually at prototype level, and you can kind of see the screws and stuff like that. So that's what tells me they're actually prototypes and not just renders. Here is a front, back, and side-to-side look. And it does look pretty good. It looks pretty clean overall. And I start to wonder, but we all know it's going to be a complex transformation for just a mini-bot, in my opinion. But I'm pretty sure that that's true. And overall, it's going to pay off looking really good in both modes. I do want to point out how clean the legs and the feet are. That was one of kind of my issues with Grump when we get to the Grump reviews. And then the arms seem to be a proper length. So there are some really good things about this, and let's get into the next pictures. Has pretty good articulation overall, and what looks to be a very well dynamic knee. I don't know if it's exactly double jointed, but it's going past the 90, so it's working really well. So they're showing off quite a bit of articulation with this guy, and that's something that maybe some of the other figures were lacking, and they're making it up right here. Now, Fanstoys has been on a roll with including more face sculpts, head sculpts, and stuff with their figures. So they're carrying it into the mini-bots, and it's kind of interesting. It is kind of interesting how they're doing this. Will they have the mood chip, or that chip that affected his mood? Who knows? And I guess we got more, showing off the articulation here. So it's pretty cool, and they get to see a wide range of photos, and you get to see so much of this figure. They're really not hiding anything. So some of their previous pictures, they were hiding the backs of them and only showing certain angles. They're showing every angle of this guy. Here we go with the alt mode, and I think it looks okay. It looks pretty good. Now, there's going to be kind of different people with different opinions on the alt mode, and so I think a lot of it is how close it is to the G1 toy in a way, because the G1 toy and the G1 tune are pretty close, but it still looks pretty good. Alright, so getting into some comparison photos of Bad Cube. We're starting with the head sculpt here, and looking at it, we have Bad Cube's head sculpts, we have Fanstoys head sculpt, and we have the actual cartoon. So, looking at all of them, I don't really think that Bad Cube was bad on the head sculpt, but it still looks pretty good. They all look good, so kind of tough. And I really think this is where it makes a big difference, and that's in, of course, the full bot mode. Now, Bad Cube was the reigning king, just kind of like Huffer, reigning king, and I don't think the jury's 100% out on Huffer, but with this one here, side by side, it does look better than Bad Cube. But there are some things that Bad Cube does a little better. So the contour of the head on Bad Cube is actually a little bit more accurate than the Fanstoys. And I'm talking about the whole head and not the face, but the face still looks pretty good on both of them. And going down, the chest area seems to look okay on both of them, and so that's fine there. But going down, I think the waist is better on the Fanstoys. The legs, all around the legs, 100% better on the Fanstoys. And then the arms are appropriate length on the Fanstoys. So there's some wins there. Bad Cube's not horrible, but it is getting dated every single day. Fanstoys is updating that look. And here is the alt mode comparison, and there are some good and bad about each one. Some are closer to the animation model than the other in some areas. So you might want to put your Bad Cube in the alt mode and keep your Fanstoys in bot mode, or vice versa, depending on what you like. And of course, there's also pictures of a Swerve. So they're going to be making a Swerve. They look a little bit different. They don't look like they are reuse, and they're doing this now where they're not actually reusing parts. So I think they only did that on a couple of figures. I don't think they're going to do it on every figure like other companies do, which is kind of interesting too, and I guess kind of a reason they can command that higher price point. So getting into some more reveals here. So evidently they're going to be finishing up the Superion first. The aerial bots are going to be first, which, I mean, that's obviously, I like aerial bots more, so I care more about the aerial bots, and they look great. So I'm excited about it, but there's still some questions. So let's get into looking at Jester here. So I do think he looks pretty good, and it's going to be the arm, all that. So interesting. There's quite a bit of back kibble on there, a little more than I expected, and I think it's actually tune accurate. We'll see that in a bit, but overall, clean, what we'd expect. Here's a bit of a different angle, showing off a bit of a different face, and still looks pretty good from that angle. And here's the arm. Now, I'm starting to wonder how they're going to do the arm. Is this going to be one of those where the joint is included in the figure? Maybe it's an ab crunch already or something, possibly, and they work it like that. So that'll be interesting if the arm is truly like an all-in-one, or if there's extra parts that clip in. Still, one more question that needs to be answered, and it's not answered yet. Here is the play mode, the alt mode, and it looks great. Got a lot of panel lines in this because there's a lot more going on. There's more going on with this than there is going on with the legs. So the expectation that they look the same is probably a bad expectation. So overall, it's great. I don't think it's a letdown, and it's kind of interesting how long it's taking, but it seems to be paying off. So here's both arms side by side. Now, obviously the other one, I guess it's the 30D. It's not officially announced, so the one on the right's the one announced, and the one on the left, they're just kind of showing it. But they look pretty good, but this starts to create some more questions. How's it actually going to combine? Where's the torso? How's the torso created? So there's a bunch of questions here with these arms and with this set of arms, and I don't think that we have the answers just yet. So still kind of interesting. I'd like to see this. We don't have price points yet anywhere. We do have pre-orders up at Show Z that probably won't last very long, but it's still exciting to see movement on the project. So here's another angle of it, just kind of what it can do, and it's interesting how they're using this little clear piece to prop it up to make it look like it's in action. Okay, so getting into some kind of side-by-side comparisons here. Now, one of the things is that I don't really care for the excessive backpack that's going on with this guy, but it does look like it's animation accurate. So let's look at the back itself, and there it is. So it's one of those things, it's not super hyper tuned, but it's close enough, and it uses, I guess Fanstoys is using some of the cartoon kibble to justify having kibble, which I guess is okay in this case. So here is the alt mode comparisons, and I think they look pretty good. So yeah, that's decent looking. I don't know if you'd want it to be 100% to the tune when it comes to the alt mode. Some people want real world vehicles to look more real world than the actual cartoon, and I can see that in this case. So what do you guys think about these reveals? Are you excited for them? Are you all over them? Or are you not concerned at all because you have different options that are out there? Well, guess what? These are up for pre-order at Show Z right now. I did get mine in for most of these. I'm still on the fence on Swerve, but you don't have a whole lot of time. Even at $20 and $30 for the pre-order deposit, they're selling out pretty fast. So I just want to give you all a heads up. It's an option. It's out there. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.